It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. I'm taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
Hello and welcome to another Can Crushers Wrestling podcast. The boys are back as this audio feed, Jenks. You can tell I've been out of town for a week.
Nonetheless,
What?
All it is. You had to practice. That's all it is.
I know, because actually I had the spotlights recorded like 2 weeks ahead of time. I really did no podcasting this week. Yeah. Well, I did. I did the Martinez Lounge like at midnight when I got back from Baltimore last week. But
Okay.
nonetheless, welcome to another Can Crushers Wrestling podcast, the weekly show. I'm Mark. He's Jenks. We have a ton to go over. We're probably not going to do a lot of stuff that we missed. You'll just, goddammit, catch up yourself. We'll do our to-dos, but I want to get this junk out of the way first. You can hear us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can hear podcasts, there. We're out there. Also, send us an email at cancrusher69@gmail.com. Check out all our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're not on Farmers Only like the 40-year-old Dash, but, you know, that's...
It opens up to a brand new market, Mark. That's all I'm saying.
I think as PC as we are on here, we need to do more Christian Mingle.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. You need to find the Lord.
No fucking shit. There it is. We definitely need to find the Lord on this podcast, and I'm not even going to joke about that.
Don't worry, I need to too. We're good.
Yeah. Happy Sunday morning. Amen.
Yeah. Amen. Welcome to the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Holy day. Go ahead.
It is a shit show, Can Crushers, because I sent Jenks a rundown. I said, hey, we're going to talk about the WWE, we're going to talk about AEW, a little bit of Bound for Glory, and our lives. There you go.
Yeah.
I really don't have hot topics. We can just bounce all over. But how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Exhausted. I'm moving friends. I'm realizing that even though I'm not that old, I'm actually old. So that doesn't help.
Moving is the worst thing in the world. We both have sucker written across our head. And I will always say this because somebody will come up and say, hey, Mark, will you help move? I know you don't have a truck, but you're... And I want to say I'm a brute of some sorts, but I just get shit done because I hate lollygagging. So I want to go. If you don't have shit packed, it's going to be packed the Mark way, but you're going to get it done.
That's kind of how I am, but I will say I'll give props to my friend who I moved yesterday. They were packed, organized, they had everything in boxes, so it went pretty smoothly. It was just, he had a lot more heavy stuff, so I'm feeling it today. Yeah. And I didn't really rest last night. We had a family function at my house.
Did you have some beverages?
We had I had beverages. Here's a new one that I enjoyed thoroughly. Apple cider with candied cinnamon whiskey in it.
What?
It was like an apple pie, Mark. It was smooth. It was delicious. It was
my jeez. I think I just found the Lord. That sounds delicious.
It was amazing. And that whiskey doesn't burn that much. So Southern Tier, unfortunately, they don't distribute up here. I had to get the bottle from Southern Tier, which I didn't hate going there.
You poor guy.
Never do.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I picked it up at Pumpkin Fest when I was there last month, and I just got a hold of some apple cider, and it was a good time. So that I enjoyed that. But yeah, outside of that, just kind of living and walking through it. I thought of something. Oh, I also started watching Survivor Series back, the entire history of Survivor Series.
Whoa.
My annual tradition. I do this with the Rumble matches. I watch all of them before the actual pay-per-view, and I also do it with Survivor Series because it is one of my favorite gimmick pay-per-views type deals. So,
nice.
yeah. So I started with 87 again. and watching them all the way through.
So you did some little extra wrestling activity this week. I did too because I got thrown in a rabbit hole, but I might as well jump on it right now.
Go for it.
I don't know why I started watching these, but I watched it's in my notes. It is Impact's weirdest matches. Okay, you can find it on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half long, and I think it was because spending some time with Chelsea Green and Mercedes Martinez, my cousin last week, Deanna Peraza, and all those guys at WrestleFest 2, I really got jonesing for some Impact, and then Bound for Glory, which we'll touch on a little bit in the second segment. But I went and watched Impact, just watching some shit. And then this Impact Weirdest Matches came up, which I don't remember any of them. It was the time that I've tapped out of Impact, which has been since the 6-sided ring left until now. So,
Okay.
Sting versus Abyss in a casket match, okay? But it was also it was called a deathbed match. The casket was above the ring, and they had to lower it down.
Yep.
You remember this?
I do remember this. I don't remember watching it, but I remember watching the highlights of it. So I do remember this match.
2 minutes into the match, Sting is a bloody mess because he legit got smashed in the face by a candelabra. I've never seen Sting bleed as much in my life.
Oh my! Yeah.
The concept of throwing the guy in the casket, yeah, it's a normal goddamn casket match. But then you have to have it raised to the ceiling to win. That's a bit sketchy. Sting wins, and you have Abyss in this freaking casket that is lowered down, and all the rigging issues that can happen from years before. You have a man just laying in a casket, and this could just come tumbling down. Scary.
Not even a small man. This is 350, I think.
Yeah.
At least that's what he was billed. My God, that's a lot of danger in that.
The next match is Team 3D against LAX in a cage that has 20,000 volts running through it at any optimal time in the match. This is as bad as the goddamn Chamber of Horrors match because
that's where my head just went. I don't remember this match, and I just thought of Chamber of Horrors. Now, is there a switch, and did it fall prematurely during the match, and they had to climb up it to put it back like the Chamber of Horrors?
No, this was at a lockdown.
Okay.
This was at a lockdown pay-per-view, which means all of their matches are in a cage anyway.
Right.
So this same cage has been up the whole time. You just have the referee putting on leather gloves and then plugging the cage in, which is just 2 pieces of PVC fucking piping getting put together because you don't ever see anything else. But it's so bad because at one time, I think it was Hernandez climbed to the top of the cage to jump off. And the only way he got up there is he put rubber gloves on. The rest of his body pressing up against this cage that has 20,000 volts at optimal times. Not all the time, just any random time. He didn't get shocked. 2 seconds later, Homicide is thrown into the cage and he is burnt to a crisp because the lights are flickering and everything. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The downfall of this whole thing is this was years before the Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match where it was red the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
This match was blue the whole time.
What?
Yeah. They had blue lighting the whole time.
Ugh.
Yeah. Bad. It gets worse, though. The next match is a handcuffed cage match. 12 guys, 6 teams are thrown into this cage. Again, it's at lockdown. I think. I don't know. Destination X, whatever. It's again, there's a cage around all 6 sides. The way to win this is you have to be the sole person not handcuffed. So you have to handcuff people to the cage in their, to eliminate them. And some eliminations happen quick. And this is a long match. So you have people like Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, those 2 would have been some of the last because they can do a lot of cool things, but you have them eliminated 2-3 minutes into the match. And now they're just fucking standing next to the cage, next to the ropes. This was bad. You have to go on YouTube and watch this. When you have an hour and a half of doing nothing but drinking your apple cider and apple cinnamon whiskey,
Yeah.
watch this.
Oh my god, I can't even fathom.
Yeah, Super Eric and Kaz won, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, and Super Eric was
God.
only in the match for about 3 minutes because he left
Oh,
to become a Super Eric.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then we get a blindfold match in a cage. Didn't we learn from Jake Roberts in the model that it didn't work?
They never do.
You have James Storm and Chris Harris in the same electrified cage. It's just not plugged in. At least I don't think it's plugged in. And they give them blindfolds. And yeah, the crowd hates this match because they're doing 10 minutes of walking around. The ref gets hit, this, that, and the other thing. The masks fall off the whole time. And I'm shitting on TNA right now. I really am, because this is the bad part of TNA. I did like Bound for Glory for what I saw. So I get back to loving TNA after this. This was bad, Jinx. Come on, blindfolds.
Well, blindfolds, first off, that's just a bad combination. But putting it in a cage,
Yeah.
there's a certain expectation people have watching cage matches. Somebody's going into one, it's going to be brutal, it's going to be violent. How do you do that with blindfolds on and just hope for the best? I think you said at one point they took them off.
Yeah,
I'm assuming when the ref got knocked out, they took them off.
Well, one person did. James Storm did. Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Harris kept them on the whole time. The ref actually got put in a sharpshooter.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I have to watch this because now I'm trying to process this whole what the hell just happened. Now, is this on like TNA's account, or is this somebody just put?
It was on TNA's account. Like, why would you even put that up there? Yeah.
Well, I'll give TNA this credit since they put it up there. It's probably like, listen, we're gonna have to laugh at ourselves because these were just terrible ideas, or they ended up being terrible matches.
All the above.
Yeah.
All the above. And then number one was the Fish Market Street Fight between Team 3D, the Curryman, and Shark Boy. But the match couldn't happen unless both the Dudley Boys came in under 250 pounds. Devon made it under 250 pounds. They were worried about Bubba Ray if he was going to be under 250 pounds or not. It looks like Earl Hebner was paid off because he kind of looked at the scale and he's like, you did it. They were all about, it was a time about when they were being called fat and they couldn't wrestle. And so once they make the weigh-in, it turns into a street fight. I'm telling you, they were throwing Fish around the whole effing arena. So then when the fans are getting hit by Fish, they start throwing them back. You know how they do the what's up, Bubba?
Yeah.
They actually throw Fish at crotches in this match. A complete shit show. And that's the extra wrestling that I watch this week. So win. You win because you at least watch something notable like the Survivor Series, which we all love. But head over to YouTube and watch those when you have time to just waste your life away.
When I need a good laugh. I think this is going to happen. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll just end work early and just go watch this because
I would work overtime instead of watching that, Jinx.
Well, now I'm intrigued.
Now you're intrigued.
And it also sounds like something I would want to put in front of Dan Mucci, one of the co-hosts of the 4-Year Dash. He has a penchant for terrible movies. Talking things, killing. He's really B-rated horror movie, like maybe F-rated horror movies. Rubbers about a tire that kills people. So this might be right up his alley too. Maybe I'll put this out to him.
Well, good, because then I have a movie that a lot of people don't know about this. I think I just broke my mic. Awesome.
Oh no.
Kelly, we need a new mic. I was in a movie over the summer, and it is now being released on DVD.
What?
I didn't tell anybody.
Why?
Well, because I wanted to wait until the release was out for DVD and everything. It's a Bigfoot movie.
Okay.
So it'll be out. I'll be getting a copy real soon. This is how much I remember. It's like Attack of Bigfoot 37 or something like that. I have a very small part, but I will spoil it. I get killed.
We gotta work on this. You need to defend yourself with fish. You're watching the Impact stuff. You gotta use fish, fake electricity, and blue lighting.
Yeah.
Now you. Okay, wait. I won't ask that question because I want to see this movie. What is this movie called? I have to watch this now.
I told you. I really don't remember. It is a maybe Z rated movie. One of my buddies from high school and college creates movies like that around here. And look up Ryan Cavallini. I can tag you in all this stuff, and if you guys want to know, it is really like Bigfoot hunters, and he does a lot of like old stories that are help me with the word, Jenks, that are brought back to kind of either scare kids or teach them a story, like a fable
like folk tales, or not folk tales, but like legends. Legend, something, along those lines,
Yeah, something like that. As we connected again, and he's like, "You're an idiot. You always like doing stuff like this." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are you asking me?" He's like, "Da da da da. Do you want to be part of these?" Yes. And I'm like, "I don't even have to publicize Can Crushers in this because this is for my enjoyment." So we worked on some stuff, and I literally probably am in the movie 35, 40 seconds, but the amount of blood when we were shooting that I had on me was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
when I get my copy, because I know it's in the works. He's been telling me all about this, that it's coming. He's put all the pieces, because he's got a real job too, so he's kind of put all the pieces together, and I'll hopefully everybody can watch it faster than I can mail stuff, or Moochie can watch The Godfather.
That's happening this week, apparently. We're gonna have. He's saying it. He's saying it for the update episode this week.
Jenks, maybe that's even a better idea. If that wrestling event that we talked about prior to the show doesn't happen, and I get my DVD, I'll make up the trek to Scranton or Allentown or parts unknown, wherever the hell you guys are from, and we can watch this shit show.
Have a viewing party. I like it.
In beers.
Yeah, and beer. Lots of beers.
Beers.
What I'm trying to find, and I know this is not. Oh, here it is. There is a movie out there, Mark, that actually they turned into a game called Kung Fury. And Mark, this is probably worse than what you're thinking your movie is. It's about a time-traveling ninja fighter, if you will, who ends up fighting the Nazis. And he has a partner called Triceratop, which is a Triceratop that is a cop, and brings in Thor. It's a shit show of a 30-minute movie that is just over the top fantastic. So
that's awesome.
Look at Kung Fury. Look it up. 31 minutes long. It's
on the YouTube.
I think it might be on the YouTube. It was on Netflix for a while.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix. When I saw it, it was on Netflix, but yeah. So it was it's 31 minutes of complete insanity and ridiculousness.
I got to that might be today's viewing.
All I'm saying is that David Hasselhoff does make a cameo.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
Not at all.
We don't have David Hasselhoff in ours, so that's...
So you have Bigfoot. You have the legend of Bigfoot.
Yeah, we do.
See? I mean, that's bigger than David Hasselhoff.
Literally. So, all right, we are going to get the wrestling. We covered some. Survivor Series that Jenks watches and the horrible wrestling, and now we're talking about movies. But Jenks, I got stuck on YouTube a lot this week, and now I want to pull the trigger because I am a 44-year-old child. And my son has one, but he just won't allow me to play on it. So I want a gaming computer to go with every other effing system, Oculus, the Odroid, everything that I have. I want a gaming computer to play all the cheesy simulator games out there.
So are you talking? So simulator games. Are you like going to make a Twitch stream out of this then?
I don't know.
Just going to play on a gaming computer right now.
I don't know yet. There's a strong possibility of that Twitch stream as well, because 2 games have got me so intrigued. One is Prison Simulator, where you run
I've
a
played
prison.
That before.
Yeah,
I've played that. Okay.
Do you have Steam, Jenks?
I have a Steam account. I haven't used it in a while because
Yeah.
I've been mostly on the PS4, Xbox 360 recently. So, but I do have a Steam account.
Do you have a gaming computer?
No, I have a regular laptop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work very well, but
And I was thinking that, I have a laptop, but I don't want to put that on the business laptop, essentially.
right.
And Ethan's like, it won't run well. So now I'm ready to drop, I don't know how much, a lot, because as we talked, I don't have the money floating around. So I would go to like Rent-A-Center or Aaron's or something and pay the $100 a month to get this, and then essentially end up paying $3,000 for an effing computer so I can play Prison Simulator, and then I can play Drug Dealer Simulator.
That's the case.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Gas station simulator where you start with a rundown thing and you have to make it These stupid simulators are blowing my mind.
What do you have? You have a PS4, right?
I do.
There's a game, Farming Simulator, where you farm.
I've tried
Have you
that.
played that yet? Have you
Yeah.
tried it? Okay, I haven't tried it. My cousin was all about it.
Have you ever played Goat Simulator?
No, but I've been tempted to buy it. I've seen the highlights of it, and I've actually used it in some trivia questions I've done before.
Ethan has beat that in like 5 minutes. It literally, you just go around, you beat the shit out of people as a goat, and then you can become a whale or an orca is a whale as well. What else? A seal, a giraffe. Like, you just become all these animals that you essentially you also ride around in a wheelchair. It's. I'm going to spoil this right now. The Martinez Lounge is going to be a very heavy show this week. Tomorrow, guys, when you listen, and it's going to be about mental health. So if you guys listen to all the above things, a lot has went on in our life this week, but I won't bring it to this show. If this is going to be stuff that helps my mental health, playing stupid simulators like this, I don't see how spending $3,000 over 24 months to save, essentially my life can't benefit me anymore, Jenks.
No, I completely agree. If it's going to brighten your day up, make it bring a smile to your face and actually help your mental health, do it. It's helping you in the long run.
Granted, again, it's going to put us more in debt so I can play Drug Dealer Simulator.
Well, hopes and dreams, I guess.
Right? But then I thought maybe I should just get a laptop because this would be perfect when I go to events and stuff. I always want to have it with me.
Right.
But I heard the laptops, the screens are smaller where, you can get the curved one that you can essentially be engulfed in it. But I want to bring this with me. I also heard that Steam is coming out with a handheld thing that it's going to be 2022, end of 2022, beginning of 2023. But then the screen's only 7 inches.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. I need it now. And the wife is like, apparently we're going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, apparently we're going to do this.
Well, hey, I will say you have a better plan than I have because at some point I want to build a PC. And I'm thinking my goal is to build a gaming one.
Yeah.
So I have a high functioning one. So
That's what
I think
Ethan's
yours
is.
might be a little more. Is it?
Yeah, he started with a generic one. All right, he really did. We bought the stuff from the WalMarts and everything, and then through his paper route or Christmases and everything, we he wanted a piece for this and a piece for that, and I think he could probably hack into the FBI of what he has right now. I don't know. I really don't know.
It's possible. There's a lot of high functioning components. So if he's got a high functioning computer, it's quite possible.
Yeah, he could be up there right now.
He could be.
Yeah. All right, Jenks, let's dive into wrestling as we're 25 minutes into it. And since
we have wrestling to talk about, don't we?
We do. And we're going to shift. And I know because we just have to. We talked about TNA and we brought it down to, the realm of shit, of the weirdest matches. But last night they had a pay-per-view, and I just want to touch on some of the things that I saw, and then we'll move on. Bound for Glory, there was no big surprises. No Bray Wyatt. No, or whatever he's going to go by. No Braun Strowman, Adam Shearer. They didn't show up. So now I'm wondering, are we all getting the wool pulled over our eyes by Mr. Tony Khan?
It feels like it's that way. I think there's a lot at play here, and it could be pushing it out to Full Gear. Something's got to happen. There seems to be. I can't believe they're not on TV yet.
Right.
Is where I'm going with this. And I'm thinking there's been a lot of reports. I think you were alluding to this. Tony Khan came out and said, or one of them said, there hasn't been talks with Bray or, Braun, or if there had been, it wasn't a lot. It's feeling like they're just trying to steer people away, basically. They're making sure people don't. It's a swerve. They're swerving people at this point, I think.
I think so too. I really do. It was nice, though, to see, as if you didn't watch it, we're going to ruin some stuff for you. So if you don't want to hear it, I don't know how long to tell you to fast forward. Just deal with it. The Inspiration made their appearance and became the Knockout Tag Team Champions. I'm happy for that. Yep. As I watched their entrance this morning. God, it sucked. Cassie and Billy, I hope that was just for you guys' big debut. I hated it. I loved the Iconics entrance. I loved it. The Inspiration entrance, not so much.
And it could be they're going to tweak it a little bit in a big pay-per-view. I think down the line you're going to see it's going to get tweaked a bit to make it more theirs and more fit their characters. But to your point, it wasn't as great as I thought it was, and maybe we could be putting them on more of a pedestal with that Iconics entrance because it was iconic. This wasn't inspirational right now. But more to come. But I'm happy for them because I love the Iconics and I love the Inspiration to a default, obviously. So I'm happy that they're the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, I agree. I do love them. If there was a critique, I hated their entrance. Yeah, my girl, Chelsea Green, who I met last week, if I didn't tell everybody or you guys didn't see the pictures 7 times this week on the old internet, loves my tattoo, has shown people around the business my tattoo, because I know this because our homeboy Daniel Spencer has said that at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Got screwed. She should have been the first digital media champion. It fits. With Matt Cardona winning the Internet Championship back, she should have won this. Thus, I know they're engaged, they're getting married in less than 2 months. Why not have a little bit of a rift between them over what's better, digital media or Internet, which is essentially the same thing? This could have been a great storyline for Impact. Instead, I like Jordynne Grace. I do. Congratulations, Jordan, for winning this, but you took it from my girl.
Does it maybe that leads into something down the line, though, Mark. If you think about it, they go after Jordan Grace, and maybe Matt gets involved in that future match between the two and helps Kelsey win it. And it could lead up to their wedding day where they're both the digital media and internet champions and they have it at the wedding. I mean, like both titles at the wedding, not the actual match, but maybe it's leading up to that.
All of that would have been great. Yes.
But I think to your point, I think Impact probably tweaked this because everybody was expecting Kelsey to win it. So they tweaked it so that somebody else won it first and then Kelsey gets it down the line, maybe. I think is what they might have done with that.
Yeah.
If I'm overthinking and analyzing it like I usually do.
No, but that makes sense. Yeah, because Jordan could have it for a month and a half, and then I actually like yours better than mine. So props, Jenks. You are paying more attention to the wrestling world than I am. I just want my people to have it now and forever.
No, I get it. I don't know if it's paying attention more than you are. I think I watched Survivor Series 87, and now I'm back to old school mentality thinking, I guess. I don't know.
Which is the way wrestling should be.
Yeah, agreed. So much good in that. All right.
And then, essentially, I want to talk about the main event then. Because they're saying this is the end of TNA and AEW working together because Christian Cage lost the Impact Championship to Josh Alexander, which I'm happy. I love that guy. I've met him a couple times at IWC. He is a beast. No disrespect to TNA, Impact, or anything. I think he could have instantly went to AEW, WWE, anywhere, and had a stellar career. He still has a lot of time to do that. God damn it. You want to talk about a swerve? At the end, with him celebrating with his family in the ring, Moose comes in and cashes in his call your shot victory from earlier in the night, beats his ass down.
That was, I've never seen that before where they cash in with the family in the ring. I mean, it doesn't happen that often. So that blew me away when I saw it. I'm like, okay, I hate Moose now, but
this sets up for a lot.
It was brilliantly done. That's where I'm going with this because, again, I haven't seen a wife and son in the ring celebrating and then somebody gets cashed in on in front of their family. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So for this to happen, this was so good and it sets up a lot. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this series plays out.
Yeah,
between the two men.
I am too. I really am. Again, I want to give props to, it was Chelsea, Jordan, Deanna, and the inspiration that I talked to last week at Slubfest 2 that has really gotten kind of my juices flowing for Impact, TNA, whatever the hell you want to call it. So I had to make sure that I watched something of Bound for Glory. And there was also a sign or a meme or something that I saw earlier this week, and I think this is where we're going to go with the show from now, Jenks. And I think we have been, that who gives a shit what you don't like? Love wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yep, I agree.
So if we're mad because of Lana doing whatever years ago, yeah, we're just not going to talk about it.
Yeah. There's no reason to. Why bring the negativity into it?
Yeah.
Talk about what you like.
So, from what I've seen, Bound for Glory, the downfall is, I understand it was in Vegas and all of that, but holy Christ, starting a pay-per-view at 9 o'clock and ending it. Thank God I caught it clips when I did and everything, because I was in bed early last night.
Yeah, no, I told you I was catching up on Dynamite because we had a family thing run over, so I didn't get to watch Dynamite live. I started watching it at 10:15ish, so I didn't see Bound for Glory in its entirety, and I had to split Dynamite between last night and this morning because I was just dead tired from moving people. But yeah, I completely agree. That's a late night for me. I'm good with pay-per-view starting at 8. When WWE used to run 4-hour pay-per-views, that used to kill me a lot. And there's some WrestleManias that killed me a lot going that long. But
yeah,
that really weighs on you. Some days I can do it. Some days I can't. I'm not a young chicken anymore, so it's not going to happen that often. But
especially we're up at the ass crack of dawn.
Exactly. Yeah,
So-
I get up way too early to stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and hope for the best.
Plus,
It's just not going to.
plus we're on the East Coast. You're supposed to cater to us on the East Coast, people. Come on, Impact. Come on.
That's how it goes, man. One thing before we leave Bounce for Glory, if you were going there, I just saw this looking at some of the results. The Kiss Demon showed up in a battle royal.
Yeah.
What? Talk about random. Is that just me? Has he been around? Did I miss something with the Kiss Demon or what?
I don't know. I saw that. That was the big surprises were like the Iconics that came, but
Yeah.
it has been. So I think they wanted to throw one more thing in there. Yeah, I don't. That wasn't. That is where we thought Bray or Braun were going to pop in.
Yeah. I feel like that was more of a random. It's almost like when the Boogeyman showed up in the Royal Rumble. It's just a random entry. Now, I enjoy the Boogeyman. I think he had a better run than Demon ever did, but way better. Besides eating flesh wounds off of people's faces, but that's a different story for the time. But yeah, this was just random. I had to call this out because I just totally. I didn't think. I thought this died in the past and stayed in the past, but I guess you can't kill a demon. Is the moral of the story.
You cannot. A demon and Bigfoot. You cannot kill them.
Demon, Bigfoot. No, you cannot.
And a Yeti.
And a Yeti.
Maybe he's coming back.
He could be.
Yeah.
You know what? God willing. At this point, I want to see Kiss Demon versus the Yeti.
Book it.
Book it now. Take people's money.
Jenks,
the 3 people that want to see it.
Yeah, 2 of them are right here. I don't know who the third one is then.
Moochie. It's definitely
Moochie. So let's scrap the whole show, any of the rundown, because I've already changed it twice on you. And
yeah.
let's talk about the Dark Side of the Rings. We haven't talked about 2 of them. The Luna Vachon one I actually watched was brilliant. And then this week's what one was it?
I cannot remember. I'm pulling it up right now because you're throwing me for a loop here. I didn't have my notes up for that. Oh, it was the Extreme and Obscene, the Rob Black.
Oh, yes.
XPW one.
Yes, the one with Vic Grimes and Did you watch both of them?
The Luna one I started to watch, had to put it aside, so I couldn't finish it because I was really intrigued by that one and learning more about it. The XPW one I haven't caught up to yet. So
the XPW one, then I don't want to spoil it for you. We can touch on that again, and I'll just fans of Can Crusher Nation, if you have not watched the XPW one, sit in for a wild ride. Rob Black is not on it, and I was not a watcher of XPW, but I knew about it, and literally, New Jack is on this. It's kind of like the last thing he did before he passed away, and it's actually dedicated to him at the end. They get extreme. They talk about that the XPW was also a porn business and what went on inside and outside of the ring. And like I said, I didn't know some of the stuff that Rob Black apparently had the Messiah's thumb cut off. And it legit is cut off. You see it. It's, let's throw it out there, fucked up. It is crazy. I learned so much from that about the XPW that New Jack even says, he's like, this is going to get XPW some ratings again, just to see some of the stuff. And then it'll go away again, just like Rob Black has gone away. It's messed up.
Wow.
Watch it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Luna one was very interesting. I knew of Luna in the WWF at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Her backstory is unbelievable. That's a great one to watch too. They've really brought the bar up again for the last 2.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's when I started watching the Luna one, you don't know half of the stuff that goes on with these performers and that. And I'll give I grew up in the 90s. Luna scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw her. So this was a fascinating story. I have to go back and finish it, but my God, from what I saw so far, it was unreal. And this has been an overarching theme, I think, with these Dark Side of the Rings. And it's something that I've come to realize, and I know this is probably an obvious point to everybody. There is absolute crazy shit that goes on in professional wrestling outside of it in these people's personal lives. But sometimes it's not even tied to the ring. If I go back to, I think it was the Dino Bravo episode where he was working with a mob, who thinks of that? Who thinks these people that you see as iconic characters on TV, we'll go with iconic characters on TV,
right,
are doing this in almost like a double life, but it's not really a double life. It's just crazy how it works. They just put on a mask and go to work. Some of these things have just been outright ridiculous.
Yeah.
That I never would have thought in a million years were happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenks, it all ties to something we talked about before we went on air for a future of our podcasting and stuff like that, because there's stories out there. There's indie stories of people that don't know that we need to open this up and we need to let everybody get their word out. So that's a teaser. And as Paul Heyman says, that's also a spoiler for things to come in the near future.
That it is.
So, all right, Jenks, let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to combine wrestling in general, AEW and WWE's stuff in segment number 2, and then we'll bounce back with I don't know what the hell in segment number 3. So,
hoping for the best.
Maybe just sell some merch in segment number 3 because shit, the show has gone off the tracks. Here comes Al Snow to tell you about Collar and Elbow, but we also have merch too.
Yeah.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is Mariah May, the glamour, but you knew that. And you're listening to Can Crushers.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. This is Mark. He's Jenks. We're off the tracks, and that's clearly what I'm going to call the show because the rundown that I sent you this morning is thrown away, out the window. And it was a good rundown. Like, it actually made sense what we were going to do, and then we get on the air, and I just are like, fuck it, Jenks. This is the mood I'm in. This is coffee number 6.
This morning?
Yeah, I'm really...
Oh, good Lord.
I got, well, as you can see on the promo picture that I got my sample merch in. So I got my hoodie on. I got my stainless steel cup that has all the stuff on. Oh, by the way, we have a promo code for Collar and Elbow. It's Can Crushers. All one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers. You save 10%. But our merch is legit now available. Go to any website that we are on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or our website that you can find in all of those as well. Our merch is out there. I got my hoodie. Ethan got his hoodie. Kelly got her hoodie. And then they sent me a stainless steel cup as well to promote. You can see it in our picture. So I only drink anything out of the stainless steel cup now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I have to make sure I get to use some stuff as well. So yeah, that's the way it's going to go.
Right,
and then hopefully when we watch the Bigfoot show, I'll just drop it all off.
Well, that would work out perfectly. I mean, I'll put on an expectation of it. It's probably going to come at the same time as I get the Dave Grohl stuff.
Go fuck yourself.
I just had to throw that out there.
I already threw myself under the bus in the first segment.
I know. You're right.
Maybe
You're
I
right.
want to see your reaction when you get it, is what I'm holding off for this Bigfoot
All
thing.
right.
But I know. It's not tickets. Goddamn Cody thinks I'm giving you tickets. I don't have. Again, we
Does
talked
he
about the
really?
money.
Wait.
He said it was something that we could actually get. No, it's something to help get you to meet Dave Grohl.
I think Cody thinks we have money that we don't have.
Right? He's the one living high off the hog now, not working, being a stay-at-home dad, which he didn't know. Stay-at-home dad. SAHD. Yeah. Words are rough.
Listen, I give him props for that. We've been talking about that and I know he's looking into more things, and he's a family man through and through, and I don't blame him for anything he's done with that.
I don't either, dude. I wish we would have recorded what we talked about beforehand, but that's again another subject. And if you listen to the Martinez Lounge tomorrow, you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. I want to say congratulations to Cody on air. Clearly I'm jealous. I really am. So, and I love him. He knows that.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I mean, I get having that option to do that and doing what's best for your family is something that I'll cherish, and I applaud him for that every day. And I think he's made the right choice, and he's moving on. And to your point and what we talked about earlier, it's really helping. It'll help him in the long run with his mental health and being in a better place too.
Yeah.
So
it really will. All right. So Jenks, essentially we're throwing Raw away because Raw was a throwaway show prior to the pay-per-view that happened Thursday. And then SmackDown actually had some other things go on. But I want to bring up, first and foremost, a tweet that came round and about this week. And I don't know it all, and I'll give props to Busted Open for bringing this to my vision, my foresight, or whatever. Eric Bischoff, Roman Reigns, all were involved in this tweet about AEW just being little brothers, essentially. Did you hear about this?
I did not. So
yeah, they were talking about how WWE is still, no matter what, the big company, because last Friday night, WWE ran a half an hour against Dynamite. And I'm not saying like two days ago, but they ran an extra, and Dynamite blew them away in the specs of 18-49.
Okay.
But Roman still says, we carry everything. They didn't. It wasn't Dynamite. I mean, it was Rampage.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what I meant. So there was a tweet out there just kind of saying, WWE this, WWE that. All right, I know that I just said the last segment that who cares about the numbers, what you don't like. I think this is just stupid for them to open up their mouth by saying this, because AEW has been winning. I don't give two shits who you are, but I'm still watching WWE.
Yeah.
It's essentially, I just want to, okay, have that banter between each other, but don't really pull punches and saying, oh, they're my little brothers, meaning that they're not, Darby Allin, MJF, are not the stature of Roman Reigns, which I will fight. No, they're bigger right now. They might not be built bigger. I'll take MJF over Roman every day plus twice on Sundays.
Yeah, and actually, now that we started talking about this, I did remember seeing the tweet from Eric, or some sort of interaction with Eric Bischoff, basically saying that they don't have the balls to compete with WWE at one point, and this unfold. Now, there was an interesting there's an interview with MJF. I don't know if you saw this interview. I think ties back to this whole thing, where they asked him about Roman Reigns, and he says he respects Roman Reigns' game. He has no issue with Roman Reigns or how he presents himself, anything after that. It's really come to light. I don't know if it was recorded before these comments or whatnot, but MJF just said he does respect what Roman Reigns brings to the game. And it seems like AEW's playing it off, or at least some of the talent are playing it off as, well, you're making these comments, good for you, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think to that point, that's what it needs to be. I get that they want to take pot shots at each other. They're going to take shots to the live long day, and especially if AEW, and to your point, I think AEW is competing with them in kicking their ass in every aspect of the game, in my opinion. But I thought about this as well when I was going through this. WWE is in the entertainment business. AEW is in the wrestling business. I think that's been said to death so many times. It's going to be two different things. It's comparing apples to oranges at this point. And if we want to talk ratings, talk about demos, do all that, go for it. Because essentially they can both be listed as professional wrestling. One's entertainment, one's wrestling. I'm watching both. I don't really care about the demos or anything like that. I know they have to for sponsorship and whatnot. But let Game recognize Game. MJF recognizes Roman as one of the best in the business. I mentioned this. Cody and I were talking about it. Roman and MJF are the top tier heels in the industry today.
Oh,
I think
down.
they are the only two. They are the only two there. Kenny Omega and the Elite, they're below them. I think MJF and Roman are on their own level right now.
Agreed.
So I get what they're doing, and I get the dismissive nature, and I get that's what WWE, the big fish in the sea, is going to do. But guys, come on, your talent, recognize Game. Why light the fire that doesn't need to be lit?
I think
doesn't need to.
Mine is, this all came from Eric Bischoff, that has been in every wrestling organization possible and has been fired from every wrestling organization possible. And no disrespect for him, because he's got a brilliant mind, but he's not relevant right now, and that's why. Yeah,
and I respect Eric Bischoff's position. I enjoy Eric Bischoff when he's on camera. I respect the position he brings. I get where he's coming off with this and saying this. He has the experience of who competed with them or not. But if you don't know the inner workings of a company, you can't really speak to what they're actually doing. Maybe he has more information than we do. Obviously he does. He's in the industry. He's going to know more. But I think AEW, the way AEW is going through it, as a lifelong wrestling fan, is the right way to do it. And it's doing it in the proper way. It's taking its shots, but it's also saying, we're going to worry about our own business and do our own stuff over here. And we're going to develop our product. And they've already established who their 4 pillars are, and they're building their product around those 4 pillars. In WWE, I can name one person they're building around, and that's Roman Reigns.
Yep. And we've been saying that for years. So great.
Yeah, exactly.
I love everything you said. There's nothing else more to talk about there. Yeah. So let's talk about Crown Jewel. First and foremost, let me say, get ready. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to be the one to bring in the blood money or anything that's out there right now.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because I got done working. I got home at 1 o'clock and I watched a MF and pay-per-view until 4, ate supper. It was awesome. I loved the afternoon wrestling. Did I expect more out of it? I did. I thought maybe we'd get something. But as I said, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. I watched it in spots. I didn't watch it in the afternoon live. I was working, but I did watch it after I blocked off time to actually watch it and go through it. It was good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually upset about the Queen's Crown tournament as a whole, because every match was under 6 minutes for some reason.
Yeah.
And unless you're going to do that all in one pay-per-view, which would be fine at that point, I don't know why they did burn them like that. But to your point, overall, it was great. I knew as soon as they put Edge versus Seth Rollins in a cell, it was going to be one of their better. It was going to be a great pay-per-view. WWE knows how to put on pay-per-views. They've proven that over the past year.
Yeah.
Maybe longer, that they know what they're doing with pay-per-views. There's been some clunkers in their history, but they have been on a good run with pay-per-views. But yeah, to your point, I didn't want to like it, and I did.
I was there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. Like, going into it,
Yeah.
I was going to be like, what are they going to do? The downfall is, Jenks, for me, they put the best match of the night on first. Edge and Rollins
Yeah.
could do that 75 more times, and I'd watch it over and over and over. That was a great match for me. That was the match of the night. I'll run down mine real quick, and then I'll let you run through it as well. I really loved that match. The Mansoor and Ali match, I didn't care about. Omos and AJ against the RK Bro. It was a Raw match with a little bit more to it, but nothing else. I echo what you said about the Queen's Crown, that every match was not long enough for me, and at least the right person won out of this match. I could see Vega doing something with it. At one point, I thought, we're going to get Doudrop, who is not young into the business, but young on Raw or SmackDown. And I don't see how they could have done anything with her as queen. So at least Vega, this fits. I was thinking more Shayna with you 2 weeks ago, or Mella, but once they both got out, I'm like, this has to be Vega. And then I also talked about how they had to separate them, that both of them couldn't be on the same brand. So the Queen is on Raw, and which is good because Charlotte Flair is on SmackDown, and we have a lot to talk about that. So there's a separation of queens, so there's no queen against queen. So the Queen's on Raw, the King's on SmackDown. So I like that. Next matchup was the Goldberg-Lashley match. Whatever. Better than I thought, but at least I don't think it killed Lashley losing. Getting thrown 75 yards off of a 75 yards. Holy shit, Mark. 75 feet.
Bro.
Yeah, I know, right? Full spiral the whole way. 75 feet off the, whatever. I don't think it really hurt him. The King of the Ring, I'm happy that Woods won. This was his lifelong dream. I think it's a perfect person to win. I'm going to go the other way. What the hell did they do with Finn Balor now? And we'll get there. We can all group this together and talk about it. What did they do with Finn Balor? They killed his demon. In no disrespect to Woods, but he's not on the level of Balor. At least he wasn't. Now he is. Where's Finn go? Yeah. Drew against Big E. I don't know. I almost would have thought maybe Drew wins it back and Big E gets another, chase at it, because I think that little bit of feud weakened both of them, essentially.
Yeah.
The women's triple threat, we saw it, essentially. We know there, and there's more to talk about in this whole triple threat thing that we'll get to on the SmackDown side of it. And then Roman against Brock, I was surprised nothing happened.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll start with Roman versus Brock and go off of that. I guess nothing happened, but I'm also surprised it carried the feud forward till when. We'll get into that in SmackDown, because that seems like it's put on hold right now. But throwing the belt in between the two, you know what to do with it. I was kind of surprised they were doing that. They went that route with it. I thought there would be a definitive winner with it, but I guess maybe they're building up Brock versus Roman for WrestleMania again. I don't know. I don't know what their game plan is there. But to your point, nothing else really came of it or out of it. So, yeah, nothing really happening there. I'm going through the pay-per-view. I knew Becky was probably going to win this thing because Charlotte got disqualified on Raw. And it kind of took a lot of the theme with this pay-per-view was it took some of the luster out of some of these title matches, because you kind of figured where it was going.
Yep.
Unless somebody lost, like with this match, if Bianca won it on Raw, then Becky was going to lose it on this pay-per-view. She held the ropes. It's legal in a triple threat match. So props to her, but we knew where it was going to end there. WWE title. Big E versus Drew. It's big men slapping meat at this point. We've been there before. But it's what I expected, and I figured Big E was going to win it. But to that point, yeah, even though Drew got drafted to SmackDown, it was still up in the air because Brock versus Roman was the main event. Brock's a free agent. He could have taken that title anywhere, and they could have just put him on Raw. So at least like that they did that to leave a little bit of mystery around what was going to happen with the match. And then I think that helped it a little bit. Finn versus Xavier, I had the same thoughts about Finn. Where does he go from here? I love that Xavier's fulfilling his childhood dream, if you will. I also love that there might be respecting Woods' talent because I think Xavier has been pushed to the wayside as the third member of the New Day
Yes.
for too long. He is way too good, I feel like, on the mic. I think he's better in the ring than people expect. So I love that this could bring him out of that. Maybe he gets an Intercontinental title run out of it. Maybe he starts working his way up the ladder finally. And so I like this for Xavier. Finn, I don't know where it puts him because he's on Raw now. I'm hoping it doesn't damage the Prince at all. And maybe it's a short stump in the road, but to your point, they killed the Demon. The Prince is now hanging on a thread. Where are we building this momentum to? Is it going to come to a title opportunity down the line for the United States title? Where is he going here? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Goldberg versus Lashley was a train wreck in a good way of it was complete and utter chaos. It was like back when Goldberg versus Brock happened, when Goldberg first came back. And the WrestleMania match, even though I was really upset that Goldberg had the Undisputed title at that point, that was the match I expected to see at that series. And that's what I wanted to see, and it was better than it should have. That's what I expected to hear with Goldberg versus Bobby, was just balls to the wall. Everybody's destroying things. It's King Kong versus Godzilla in a match. That's what I wanted to see here. I hopefully still want to see Bobby versus Lesnar at some point. That has money written all over it. I don't know why they haven't given it to us yet, but
It's been years in the making. I agree.
Yeah, it should have happened by now. But anyways, off of that point, Doudrop Zelina, already talked about my problem with it. I like Zelina that she won it. If it wasn't going to be Zelina, I thought it was Baszler, or Liv. But I like Zelina winning this. Doudrop, in her own right, is a talented performer.
Yes.
Piper Niven. I hate the name Doudrop, but she is a talented performer in her own right. But to your point, too early in her run to take the Queen's crown at this point. So props to that. RK Bro, AJ, Nomis. Yeah, it was a standard match. It's what I expected was going to happen. Mansoor Mustafa Ali. That actually surprised me. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. Was I sold on the storyline around it? No, but I appreciated what they were trying to do with it, and I liked the match as a whole. I thought it was a good match. And we talked to Edge and Rollins.
Wow,
Edge and Rollins. My God, that match blew my. Maybe I was on a high from the Edge and Rollins. I don't know, but because that match was off the chains. There's nothing more I could say that would do that match justice if I kept talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will say, if you have not watched this pay-per-view and you're against the pay-per-view or anything, give the Edge and Rollins match a watch. Storytelling, the action, everything in this match is unbelievable. It really is. Mm-hmm. They're two pros that continue to work. So, I think we covered that awesomely, Jenks.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, SmackDown. This is where shit happens. This is where, shit happens. First of all, let me tell you, I got in the mood, okay? There was only 4 matches on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay? So that kind of pissed me off. Because your first match doesn't happen until, an hour into the show.
Which was genuinely insane.
Yeah. Mansoor and Ali. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first match. An hour and 13 minutes. Only second. No, there's one more.
Oh, no, second match. You missed Drew and Sammy.
Yeah, Drew and Sammy. Yeah.
Yep.
But, all right, so there's 4 matches on the show, and none of them mean anything, essentially, to me. Nothing. I don't care if we talk about them. If you want to talk about them, cool. But essentially, it starts off with Roman in the ring. Hey, I'm number one. What did you do? Da-da-da-da-da. And Brock comes out and beats the snot out of everybody, which essentially means he's now suspended because Adam Pearce comes out and beats the shit out of Adam Pearce.
Right.
And this is going to bring up what you brought to the table 5 minutes ago. Are we really getting this to WrestleMania? Because how long is he suspended? I have read that now Brock is gone until like February, which is after the Rumble.
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's not doing UFC, is he? Like, that's a legit question to you and Can't Crush Your Nation. Why can't he do... All right, say I don't know where Raws are or SmackDowns are in the near future, nor do I care, but okay, if you're going to be at New York or if you're going to be, you know, at the big towns, and I was shocked that this SmackDown was in... where the shit was it? Wichita, Kansas?
Was it? It was Wichita, yeah. It was Wichita.
You just came from Saudi Arabia. So not only do you have a 24-hour flight to get back to the United States, you're picking the middle of the country to go to?
Yeah.
No disrespect, Wichita, Kansas, but I'm just saying, like, normally off of pay-per-views from, like, overseas or anywhere else, they're on a coast. Just to, boom, get there, take a nap, and... What time did they get to Wichita? Yeah. Like, this is crazy. Did they literally just get there? Okay, that's why they had the big guys on first to get them out and see you later? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, are we really... Is Brock... Here's the question, as I stumble through my words. Is Brock a backup plan to get to WrestleMania until they get The Rock signed if there's no movies or anything going on? Or is this what really we're building to again?
So I had the same thought. I feel like it's a backup plan to have in their back pocket. Once they get the Mania, we don't have Rock. Let's go to Brock. But we can only do so many. Well, when they meet, they have brutal encounters, whether there's stipulations or not. Can we put him somewhere else? It feels like this is just an ongoing saga between the two, which is fine. I'm going to say I'm entertained by their matches. I am. They have great matches. I mean, Roman's a top talent. We talked about that earlier on. But to your point, what's Brock doing? Is he doing Viking shit? They had a cowboy shit in AEW, so he's doing Viking shit. Is that what's happening? Because I was enjoying this Brock Lesnar.
I was too. I love the Logger Lesnar.
I love it. It was fantastic. I was hooked. But now he's gone from us, and he's ripped away. So I think the other question is, what are you doing short term? Yeah. Because how do you create suspense or create the belief that Roman is in trouble in the short term until Brock gets back? And is it even he's in trouble when Brock gets back? I guess right now, all I see is an invisible Roman Reigns, and I'm not saying that's wrong or bad or anything like that, but what's their game plan here? Because right now, I cannot name one person I think that could beat Roman Reigns.
That means people like Drew are going to get thrown to the wayside because Drew's over there now, and I don't know who else big that they can make stand up to him. Does Shinsuke get a match with him or something? Because his strong style could be, you know, a little bit of a storyline with him. My thoughts now: how long are we getting the whole Paul Heyman segment, whatever, storyline, Mark, use that word that's easier to say, with Roman, because the crack is now on the other side. It's not like in the middle. To me, the crack is, okay, we know he's going back with Brock at some point. If you know this is happening, I don't know if Crown Jewel was the right place to do it, because now you have Roman understanding that Paul is a problem.
Yeah.
This cannot go on for 4 more months to WrestleMania.
And sitting here thinking about it, I'm wondering, and this is armchair booking again, but I'm wondering if it's Roman is going to deal with Paul in the short term in the next few weeks or next month or so, Paul returns at some point with Lesnar. Is that what we're building to? I don't know.
It's got to be. That's the only way I can see it panning out.
Yeah, because I don't see them treating Paul Heyman like trash and Paul Heyman fearing his life for 4 months, unless that's how they want to do it. But I don't see that being the case.
Yeah. The other big story that came out of SmackDown, in my eyes, is this whole stupid title exchange, which I told you weeks ago I despised it. And I will stand up and I will wave her flag as well on this spot. So did Charlotte Flair. If you read anything in the last 2 days on the social medias, and take it as you may, she was completely against this. When it happened last year with New Day and the Street Profits, it ruined. Titles are props anymore. They have been for a while, but at least I like pretending the prestige is there and stuff like that. And I think Charlotte still does too. When you just have to hand titles over, it really looks, get ready, fake.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I hate using that word around wrestling because, all right, it's 2021, it's predetermined, but it's not fake, okay?
Yeah.
I will wave that flag until I die as well. That just makes it look fake. And Charlotte was against that, and she got in trouble. She didn't say anything to Vince in the gorilla position. She had just left. I read this morning that they showed SmackDown again last night against AEW, but they edited out the part where Charlotte threw the belt down. They didn't allow that on last night's SmackDown, which was the same SmackDown as Friday night. They just edited it out.
That's interesting. And, you know, going off of that point, I don't know. I'm a Becky Lynch fan. They had a heated exchange, I think, afterwards as well.
Yes.
That led to Charlotte being escorted out of there because Becky had a dark match and then she was going to come back, and they didn't want them in the same area. What I also read was, so it's interesting you say that they edited that part out. I read that the title thrown to the ground, there was one part where it wasn't supposed to be scripted, but I heard that part was scripted at one point.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised they did that part. They edited that part, but there's like a tug of war or something between the two where Charlotte, that was something that they didn't edit. So maybe that's developed and it was a whole thing with the title getting thrown to the ground. But there's been multiple reports that there's a lot of people that just don't like Charlotte anymore backstage. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is. And after reading it and looking at it, and I watched this live, I knew something was not right, especially when Becky threw the title at Charlotte. That didn't look right. And there looked like there's a lot more tension there than your standard, oh, it's Becky versus Charlotte. They've always had this thing between each other. You know what I mean? Their standard on-screen thing. So it was interesting to read this and see this develop over the past couple days. I'm not sure what the issue is. I get that title exchanges, I agree, are kind of dumb. But I understand it. You're keeping your title's brand at that point. You have to, if they're both going to do it. But let's do it less often than once a year. We're just going to exchange title belts and all that. I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear more about this story. But there's a lot going on here, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a problem coming up. Does this start building into Charlotte just leaves WWE at some point?
And that was out there as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if she goes to AEW. If she goes to AEW, things are hitting the fan big time. But we'll get to that. I don't know what her contract is, and I'm not going to speculate on it. But if she's becoming a problem backstage, there's going to be a flip side to this whole equation. The entire title exchange selfishly made it a little bit better that it was kind of this tense. But at the same time, what is happening? What is going on behind the scenes that we're getting this kind of result on live TV?
Yeah. And then right after that segment, Andrade text FU WWE. Not text, tweeted FU
Tweeted
WWE.
it, yeah.
He's waving a
lot
flag
going
to
on
get
there.
her there. He's waving a
Yeah.
flag to get her there. But if you listen to Ric Flair from a couple months ago, he says there's no way Ashley, he blatantly said her name, Ashley's ever going to leave WWE because she's entitled there. She is going to get everything she wants. They know that in the WWE. She is, lover or hater, she's an amazing athlete. She brings the fans, again, lover or hater, she's awesome. But if she's causing it, she wanted to lose the title Monday night to Bianca.
Right.
They just said no. So if and when her contract is up, and again, we're going to pander on this for probably years. I don't know when her contract is up. She is going to go somewhere. And if it is AEW, imagine what we could get out of that. You tell me you wouldn't want to see Thunder against Charlotte. Does she work? Is she not as entitled then? Because there's no major ties to AEW and Ric Flair. There isn't. They will respect him or anything, but I don't think she gets the multiple-time championships or anything. But maybe she's past that as well. I like that she said that she wanted Bianca to get the title, that she deserves the push and not her.
Right.
So, I don't know. The product of Charlotte Flair, I think, is too much. But I think the person of Charlotte Flair wants to start giving back to the business because she knows it's the right time.
Yeah. Well, and I think let's go off of that. She has built herself into a name brand at this point, and I think she goes to AEW. If she were to go to AEW, you're right. She's going to get back to the business, but I think they would give her a title run by default.
Oh,
it would probably be a lengthy one for a good 6 to 8 months, maybe 10 months. And then she'd drop the title. To your point, they're not going to give her the title and then she loses it 2 weeks later or a day later like she's been doing and build up this title reign to where she's going to match her father at some point. Off of Rick's comments, the one thing that goes through my mind when he says that wasn't that the case with Ric Flair in the 80s going into the 90s? He's never going to leave NWA, WCW.
Right.
He won't go to WWE. What did he do? He went to WWE for a year.
Yeah.
So I think it's when do you get in your head, and that's not in a negative light, but you're in your head and you're thinking, I want to get back to the business, but I also want to face new people, and I'm not doing that here. How do I do that? And it's naturally going to be a growth moment for her, and she's going to say, well, let me go with Andrade. Let me go to AEW, and maybe I can go to New Japan. Maybe I can go to Impact and fight some of the best talent in the world. Do you think I would love to see Deonna versus Charlotte at some point? Oh, hell yeah, let's do it. But how do you do that unless you're in a company that's going to allow you to go through those doors and have those opportunities? I think that's going to come up at some time. Charlotte's name brand, and it's not an ego thing. I'm not saying it's an ego thing. She knows her worth, and she knows, I want to go fight some of the other people in the world right now. There's only so many times you can fight Becky, Bayley, Carmella,
Sasha.
Yeah. They're all going to be great matches, but what's outside of those matches? And how can we get to somewhere that's even better or steps up the game? I think it's going to happen at some point.
Honestly, I do too.
Yeah. And I'll be right there waving the flag because I want to see it happen.
I do too.
So,
I want to be my grandfather and wonder why, because he didn't know the separation of WWE or WWF at the time, World Class and NWA. He was like, why isn't Ric Flair fighting that Hulk Hogan guy? They both have titles. It was just wrestling to him.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see everybody fight everybody. I want to see everybody fight everybody.
Agreed.
All right, transitioning over, we talked about AEW, so let's talk about AEW. Rampage, Jenks, to me, the last couple weeks of Rampage has been kind of slow.
That's fair. I really enjoyed this Rampage.
Really?
Yeah. So honestly, the first match, Cassidy versus Hobbs. You could have it either way. I was intrigued by the interaction with Bryce, the official, and Hobbs at the end, and then Hook trying to calm him down, and then it led to the finish. I don't know why, but that was like, it kind of had a clicking moment to me as AEW empowers their referees
They do.
to actually be referees and not be a sideline character that runs out of the ring when the Undertaker looks at him type deal. So I kind of liked that interaction. I thought that grabbed me a little bit. Anna Jay and Britt,
That was a great match.
that was a great match. I think it's really showing Anna Jay, she may be still green in some aspects of her game, but she's working her way up, and she actually put on a very good match with Britt.
Her
And
injury,
kept up with her.
hurt her.
Yeah,
duh.
agreed.
But I
Yep.
think right is her injury. She was gonna be, a major player.
Oh yeah.
I think she's now getting back to that level.
Yep.
I don't think Ty takes it off of Britt, but I could see
No.
Anna taking it off of Britt.
I could too, but I wouldn't think
Not
to
yet.
see it until next year.
Yeah.
Sometime next year, I think it would be. But yeah, and it could be building up. Maybe it's Revolution. They build up to that at Revolution in February. I don't know. But Anna Jay looked good. She did her best in this match. And I loved the end. I liked how at the end, she had the Queen Slayer on. It was in for a long time. And then they pointed out, oh my God, she's exhausted or something happened. You know what I mean?
Yep.
She got to that point where she hit exhaustion and Britt just snapped and lockjaw and ended it. So I thought that was a nice way to end that match. And
But
I
Britt
give
still
props-
needed help. But Britt
She
had
still
everybody.
needed help.
Yeah.
She still needed help, which is what I expected, but it didn't take away from that match, in my opinion.
Right.
And honestly, it made Anna Jay, when she knocked down Jamie Hayter, actually helped her a little bit because she was recognizing it's a distraction. Let me take care of Britt, then go get her, and then come back. So yeah, it was a fun little match, and I actually liked it. It was well done. Andrade versus Pac too. I could talk the live long day about, but
I think I was bummed. I'm now reading my notes; they weren't pulled up. I think I was remembering the Cassidy Hobbs match, and that kind of blowed me. Yeah,
Right.
this Andrade Pac match, awesome match. The top rope brainbuster is. I have that in caps.
I did too. Oh my
Holy
God.
shit!
That looks sadistic.
Yeah,
And then there was the spot, the reverse, what was kind of like the elbow drop on the chest onto the apron. And then they turned around and did the DDT on the apron.
yes,
To Pac. That looked brutal as well.
yeah.
They were, it was all over the place. And I mean, 30 seconds in there, commenting Pac was all over the place. And it was a beautifully done match. Also, in all caps, I have Andrade and Black Alliance.
Yes.
What the hell, man?
I've wanted this since they were both in NXT. I
Agreed,
think they
yeah.
fit together. This is perfect. But is it really, or is he just coming out to take care of some other business?
Well, I think you go back to the FTR thing.
Right.
I think Andrade is playing the role of a businessman and saying, I need a hired gun. Let me get FTR to take the AAA titles off or prove a point with the Lucha Brothers, which happened last week, I think, on Rampage. Or it was on Dynamite, one of the two.
Yeah, they were under masks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This week, he hired the Gun of Black because he needed backup to attack, I think, Pac, or he had the plan to attack Pac after the match. So I think that's where it comes to is Andrade's a businessman. And we can go back to he fired Chavo because he didn't want to win that match by cheating. He wanted to prove a point. So I think Andrade's playing the role of the smart businessman that might be the bad guy. So I think you're right. This is probably more of just a temporary alliance thing as a hired gun.
Yeah. And we see it again on Dynamite because we'll
We
roll
do.
right into Dynamite.
Yeah.
By the way, Bryan Danielson, Dustin Rhodes, I wasn't expecting this match.
Neither was I.
Oh, keep that
was
coming.
Unreal. Yeah. And props to Dustin.
Yeah.
Doing what he's still doing. He still has it. I don't care what it is. And I texted Cody about it this morning. If had Dustin won that match, which I knew it wasn't going to happen because it's Bryan Danielson, they're building him up. But had Dustin won that match, I would have been completely fine with it.
I would have too. I wrote the same thing. I said either person could have won this match after what they did.
Yeah. This was, and no matter what, they could have won it. Now, I'm going to also give props to Danielson. He's winning by different methods now.
Each time.
Each time, which just speaks even further to his character or the way he is developing his character outside of WWE. Doesn't have to be on the label lock, cattle mutilation. Doesn't have to be that. It can be a simple guillotine.
Yep.
That makes the Rhodes passes out. So, phenomenal effort on that.
Love that. The Super Click talking to Hangman and Dark Order. Okay, yeah, great promo. Yeah. MJF and Sting, yes, but so much happened out of this as well, because fast forward a little bit, you have MJF talking again, and Wardlow says, "What the fuck did you do out there?" Thank God. Yeah. I want Wardlow again because he's our personal homeboy and everything. MJF doesn't need him anymore as a hired gun or anything, and Wardlow doesn't need MJF anymore. I want this to happen now. Like, it is build up. It needs to happen. Maybe this is something that in between or right after the whole Darby thing, MJF needs to get through Wardlow to get to that title or something. It needs to happen lickety split though.
Yeah, the cracks are there. Accountability buddy, my God in heaven. Yeah. That piece of it, I think the cracks are there, and it could come to a head at Full Gear.
That's where I was thinking.
Because Wardlow stepping up and saying that to MJF now makes me believe at Full Gear something's going to go and happen. Does it cost MJF the match? I don't know. I don't know what that might be, but I think that's where it comes to a head at Full Gear. That promo between Sting and MJF, oh my God. It just proved MJF being an elite talker on the mic.
Yep.
And controlling or just lighting a fire under the crowd's ass too. I wrote down firearms and incest. I laughed way too hard at that when he said it. When he dropped that line, but it just speaks to MJF as a character.
Right.
But agreed. But yeah, so that was, I think it did a lot of great things, not only for him and Darby Allin going forward, but for him and Wardlow in the future.
Can I poo-poo one time on AEW though right now?
No, go for it.
And I usually don't do this. I don't like the whole aspect of running two tournaments at the same time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the TBS women's tournament's going on, and now the Eliminator men's tournament's going on. Two tournaments at once. I love tournaments, but I think they could have been broken up in between. I really do. Let the women get theirs done, get their secondary title up there, then do the Eliminator tournament. there's storylines. There's other storylines that you could have been playing with for the men, because I know it's just getting some guys into the mix of everything, but that's the only downfall I have to say about that.
To that point, I feel like this was a response to the Queen's Crown and the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
In the aspect of they wanted to run their own women's one and kind of almost show, hey, we actually give our women the spotlight. Maybe that's a little pessimistic of me. But to your point, the Eliminator tournament ends at Full Gear. They don't go to TBS until the beginning of January.
Right.
They could have ran it November into December.
And then crown the champion on the first episode?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that would have been the better way to do it. But I feel like this was more of, hey, we can do a women's tournament better than you at this point. Am I still going to enjoy it? Yeah, and I'm sure you are too. But I agree. I don't like running two tournaments at the same time, even though they're for completely different titles at this point. Run one at a time, because I think it takes away from the tournament itself.
It does.
Not the people, but it takes away from the tournament itself and the prestige around it.
In the women's tournament, I have to. They have 4 people getting a bye into the second round. Who is it?
Chris Statlander.
That's the one I have an issue with. Nyla Rose, was another one. Thunder, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling
You're
up
looking
now.
it up. Well,
Yeah.
the one I was gonna be upset about was Statlander. Yeah, I know she's on a run. She just came back and everything. I think if anybody else besides her should have gotten the bye, it should have been Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
Besides Statlander, nothing against either one of them. I love both of them.
Right.
But I think Sheeta being the person that carried you through pandemic time, having that long wrestling championship run, Nyla having it, Thunder's just Thunder. Did you pull up who's the fourth one?
Yeah, so it's Thunder Rosa, Jade, Nyla.
Jade's
Statlander.
undefeated. So
yeah, Jade
yeah.
made sense.
Jade made sense. It was Statlander is the one that I'm like, but
I get Chris.
I do too.
Statlander as it. She had the last title shot at the last pay-per-view, so it made sense that I think she fourth ranked right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They took the top 4 people.
Yeah,
and
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I get where your frustration's at. Also, to your point, I don't think I'm seeing Sheeta beat Serena here because they're not
the push they're giving. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they really going to give her the 50th win that they made a big deal about to win, almost do a qualifying match to enter a tournament?
Right.
That seems a little weird, but I guess that's the way they want to do it. But I think there was some disrespect to Sheeta there, in my opinion. But
yeah, well, I mean, otherwise, we said this weeks ago that we don't think Sheeta's going to get that 50th win for a while.
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point. So is it just setting up Serena to win it again? And then when does Sheeta get that opportunity? Because it's going to be against Serena at some point. I don't think it's in this. I don't think it's in this tournament.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, and then looking at this bracket, I already feel like it's Jade's to lose at this point. This is just built for Jade to lose it at this point. So
yeah, Bobby Fish. I like this Bobby Fish.
This Bobby Fish is kind of a little bit of a tough guy.
Yeah,
guy. I liked him a little bit more here. It was your standard squash match, I think, for Bobby, but it really put him over big time. And I'm now clamoring for Punk vs. Fish.
Yep.
It's coming up now next week, I think it is, on Dynamite. So,
which is back on Wednesday nights.
Back on Wednesday night. Hockey stopped taking them off the night. So,
Archer Kingston. Brutal fight, unbelievable. I was shocked that Eddie got the win.
Well, and I'm wondering if that was the finish plan because the way Archer landed,
right,
it looked bad, and I hope he's okay. I feel like they had to just give it to Eddie because Archer landed pretty bad on that.
Yeah.
So that, to your point, I was kind of surprised by that. I thought we were going to get Archer versus Daniel Bryan in the next round of the Eliminator tournament. But hopefully Archer's okay. Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Bryan.
I'm all right with that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
side note about that wrestling Impact thing that I watched earlier, Lance Hoyt is actually in the caged handcuff match thing.
Oh my God. You serious?
Yeah. Then we get like 3 promos. If you want to talk about any of them, nothing. Yeah. They all said what they had to say.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy beats the shit out of Cutler, but I need the super click. I need this super click every week. Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. I need a tattoo of them or a kiss from all 3 of them or something. I need it.
Get the logo. Just get the logo tattooed on you.
It's coming.
It's got you. This is classic super click at its best. I think it's building up the Jungle Boy and Adam Cole again at full gear, but oh my God, this is exactly what we thought it would be.
Yep. I just love how they embarrassed them. I really do. The Miro promo, he's going to come back and take over the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Cody and Malachi. This was physical. This was unbelievable. everybody's allowed having a gun apparently nowadays and shooting people. Back in the day, that wasn't allowed. I thought that we were more PC in this world, that, you know, people shouldn't be shooting everybody. I like that Pac came out. And I'm alright that Cody got the win because I don't think it hurts Malachi.
Doesn't hurt Malachi. I think I'm in the fans that are growing Cody right now just because. I was kind of disappointed Cody got the win, but it all made sense. He hit Malachi with 3 crossroads.
Right.
One went through a table during the break, which if you weren't watching, then you lose. If you weren't watching the picture-in-picture, then you completely missed it until they came back and you're like, what the hell just happened? I'm okay. I'll let it go. But where does everybody go from here now? Are we going to just get a super tag team match at Full Gear? What's going to happen with Pac and Andrade? Also, I popped when Arn Anderson threw a spine buster.
Yes.
I just love that. I love seeing Arn spine busters hit. So it was a great match. It was an intense match. I liked it. I'm on the fence on Cody winning, but I do see the logic was there and why he won.
Okay, so I've never watched a whole episode of it, and I didn't watch any of it after this, and this is only from my readings. Apparently, Road to the Top is giving away too much. Have you been reading about this, about like backstage stuff and everything?
I didn't read it. I didn't see this article. I've been reading up on what they're talking about. So what are they proposing here? What are they saying?
Well, they're just saying, like, at one point they showed Evil Uno without his mask, or you get Tony and Cody really talking about, like, the business aspect of it and saying he's done, he wants to work with this person and take a break. It's just, and I'm not saying that I love the Bellas or any of those other ones, but they just showed their life and kept the wrestling out of it, where from what I'm reading and hearing, that Road to the Top is showing wrestling along with Cody and Brandy taking care of the kids and the dogs and this, that, and the other thing. And they're just giving away too much. You know, like, we all know, again, it's 2021, we know about wrestling and everything, but we still like that fantasy that we don't know what's going to go on. And they're talking about, hey, we're going to, you know, maybe using some lingo that everybody doesn't know, but if you've been around the business, you know it enough, unless you're just getting into it, that they're legit giving some spoilers. And, you know, I want to give you know, if you want to watch it, go watch it, fine and dandy, but I just think they're doing too much on Rhodes, and thank God it was the last episode for the year, I think yesterday or whenever, but
yeah.
Some of the other people in the wrestling business are like, you're giving too much away. Just make it a reality show about you and stop incorporating AEW as much into it.
Right. Well, and I think maybe that's the point they were trying to drive across, is their life is AEW at that point. But to your point, don't do that. Like, Evil Ono has built up this mystique. Nobody knows what he looks like without his mask, but now you show it and you reveal it.
Right.
We don't need that aspect.
I didn't see it, so I don't know who he is yet. So.
I didn't see it either because I haven't watched any of these, so the mystery is still there for me. But to what people are saying online is, take it back a notch. Let's have it about your lives. You have a lot going on. A child, that's going to be a lot. Trying to balance. You can show the balance between the wrestling business and having a child, but don't give away the inner workings. I get it. It was probably, I guess I don't know how long ago they recorded this too. I can't remember when they had their child, but
a while ago.
Yeah.
I almost feel the kid's a year old now.
Yeah, it's getting close. So I get it was a while back. Still don't give away that inner workings. There's still that mystique around it. But to me as well, it's not going to affect me any if I hear it or not, because I've been in the business, or I haven't been in the business. You've been in the business.
Yeah.
Pretending I've been in the business, but I've watched it long enough where you pick up on that stuff and you read things. So it's unfortunate. Yeah. And I hope they kind of start recognizing that probably going to have a season 2 here. So they're hopefully make that change where they don't expose it too much more.
I hope so. All right, Jenks, let's take a quick little break, collect our thoughts, and come back so you can bring it back in segment number 3.
All right.
Hey, it's Ruthie J, the hottest prospect in South Florida, the gold standard, and you're watching Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back, Can Crushers Podcast listeners. Mark, we got stuff going on in life.
We do have some stuff. I like you're just quick and to the point on your welcome back. You don't have to say who you are. Everybody knows who you are. This is just the shit that's going on. Boom.
You know, I was going to do a long drawn out Michael Buffer type entrance where it just draws it out, or the Justin Roberts with John Moxley. But
next week,
next week maybe.
It. No.
All right, next week. Oh, I'll do it. I'll get the cockles ready to get that done. So
you better get more than your cockles ready.
Do some breathing treatments to make that happen.
Nice. Right. So, as I alluded to all last week and this week and everything, we went to, myself, John, and Pat went to Slubfest 2. Great event, and they've already have Slubfest 3 scheduled. It's in the books. It's pretty cool. It's going to be February 6th in Baltimore again. Check it out on the old Facebook, as they've already made some announcements of some people are going to be there, which is really cool. I think it's on a Sunday this time, so I might take the following day off and head down, if not for anything else, just to eat at the poor doghouse thing that we ate, and I ate amazing food and had beverages out the wazoo. Maybe, Jenks, if they don't want to go, it'd be a great ride down for you. It's only like $15 to get in, and then you pay for your autographs of what you want. And they usually put on a show afterwards of, MCW wrestling or somebody. So that's really cool. Announced so far, all right? And again, I will tell you guys, go there, follow them. I like that it's only 4 hours away from me. So I'm going to make another announcement after I tell you guys of what's going on. Lex Luger's going to be there, somebody I don't have. Camille's going to be there. Deborah is going to be there, somebody who doesn't come out of her house a lot. So excited to see that. You have Scott Hall, The Powers of Pain, and Bully Ray. So with Bully Ray being there, sometimes I always link, he's on Busted Open, so maybe Busted Open will be there, and that also leads to other things, and da-da-da-da-da. So
right.
I'm interested in this. You can get your tickets now. Just, again, go to the Facebook and do, they're not paying me for this. This is because I had a blast, and I want Can Crusher Nation to know it's on a Sunday, 12 to 4, I think 12 to 5, and then probably an event afterwards, February 6th. Get your tickets now. It's well worth it. You have plenty of time. The arena that they had it at, there was, close to 1,000 people there, and you thought you were the only person in there because there was that much room.
Wow.
The whole COVID and everything, fuck that. Deal with whatever you want to do. If you want to wear masks, cool. I don't mean it like that. I'm just, there was people wearing masks. There was us. There was some wrestlers wore masks. Some didn't. It's just, come as you are. Be comfortable. If you would happen to get COVID, don't be an asshole and sue Slubfest. You make the call. You do what you want to do. That's the way, essentially, that we have to, in my book, live life right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, agreed. It's at your own discretion, and it sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. That's February 6th. So it's a little ways away, but I'll get tickets. With that being said, having a couple events under my book, and the studio keeps filling up, and I regretfully say that I'm not going to make the trip to WrestleCade then this year. WrestleCade's a great event. It really is. 3 amazing days of wrestling, autograph signings, experiences, and this and everything. But there's so many more around that I will take the 4-hour trip to, Baltimore, or a 6-hour trip to Albany, because they're having one, I heard, in March or something like that. I'll still, if WrestleCade would say, hey, come down, do something, and we'll give you some cash, I'm going. But just to go as a fan, 12 hours to do the same thing that I can do in less time, it makes financial better decisions for what is coming in the future. And I know I've been saying that, but now listen to the Martinez Lounge. That's all I got to say, because there's going to be a network of love, hope, and everything in the near future that is going to coincide with Can Crushers, the Lounge. I'm losing my voice because I'm out of coffee. The 40-year dash, and even more that is out there for the foreseeable future, Mr. Jenks.
Yeah. It's some exciting times, but at the same time, life has necessitated some changes, I think.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put that. So the near future looks bright. And, you know, going back to what you're saying about WrestleCade, between that, financially it makes sense. It's all about the well-being, and it's all about being mentally well off. And there's things coming in the near future that is, I think, I would hope, would bring that to better mental health in that capacity. That understating it too much.
Yeah. So you guys are off this week, essentially on the 40-year dash, right?
Yeah, we're off. We're gearing up for the great debate next Sunday.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, we're gonna debate because we have nothing better to do. The candy pumpkins versus candy corn argument.
But it has gone from a top 5 Halloween candy to the greatest candy of all time now.
It has,
which is ludicrous.
It continues to get more and more ludicrous. We're still waiting on the debate topics from Daniel.
You're not getting those until the day after.
Well, we asked for him this morning. He said by the end of the day. So we're going to see what happens with that. Because I need to review them. Cody's moderating, so he's got to review the notes. I guess I like that Cody does not consider it the greatest candy of all time. So that puts my mind a little more at ease that there's going to be less bias on his end. But the great debate is coming. And we find out if Moochie actually watched The Godfather or if he's just stating Cliff Notes' version of it. I need some good questions, I think, to ask him, to pick his brain about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to ask.
I think you should get in touch with the English professor, because if there's anybody that knows The Godfather, the ins and outs about what color was the cup in the third scene at 20 minutes and 22 seconds, would probably be him. I'll have to
There's definitely one scene that I want to ask him about, because it's a well publicized mistake in the movie, and it's with an extra,
right?
That I don't think he knows, that Moochie knows. So I think I'm going to use that piece of it. It's a well established piece of cinema, and I can say that here on this podcast because I'm going to guess he's not going to listen to it yet. He may not listen to it this week. I don't know. He's got a busy week. It's his birthday week too.
Oh.
So happy birthday to Daniel.
Happy birthday, Mooch.
He's not going to listen to it this week because of his things going on at work and that, but he's a busy man. But yeah, there's a couple things that I think I can key in on and use, but we'll see. May need to touch base with the English professor to see what's going to happen here. Give me some more tips and tricks to ask him, because if not, Cody and I get to pick his goal.
I hope
we already have it lined up.
Good. I hope he doesn't watch it, because I want to know the goal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a special goal. I don't think he's going to watch it. I don't think he has. So it'll be interesting.
Cool.
To say the least.
All right, Jenks. I know you have to run in like 5 minutes to do your thing, so I will let you go, and I am going to go as well, because I don't know why I would sit here and talk to myself. As you could tell, nothing was planned for the third segment. But you guys stayed around to listen to us.
We pulled it off pretty well. Not really, but we did. You carried it, Mark. You carried this.
Yeah, I did. Yep. So we had a great rundown. That's all I'll say.
It was great until about 20 minutes into the show.
Right.
And it got thrown out the window.
Quickly. And I said that I was going to name the show something, but I don't remember that either. The coffee is now kicking my ass. I feel like I have the jitters. 6 cups in like 4 hours.
You're my hero right now because I wish I could have had 6 cups in 4 hours.
I also have to piss.
I was drinking water this whole time. You know I had to, so.
I know. Jenks, I love you. I'll talk to you next week. Remember.
Yes, love you too.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I was just saying I love you.
Yeah, I know. Remember, just because I'm trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a trash can, not a trash can.
Oh, you fucker. It's not a trash can. It's a garbage can.
Oh, you know what? Hey.
What?
I'm sorry. A garbage can. Excuse me.
So
I know I ruined this whole thing.
yeah.
It's over. It's done.
Will you say
Guys,
Finn?
this is probably my last Can Crushers is going to kick me off now. So.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Finn.
Okay, this trash panda is coming back. Finn.